Yo, what up, y'all? This is Too Short, and you checking me out on HotNewHipHop.com, bitch. It's one of those ones I think could be random ass shit. Okay, yeah, that's a song called "You Nasty," which is it was the Out of Retirement album. When I said I retired back in '96, this was the album that I came back with, "You Nasty," and it was I remember this album really particularly because this is kind of where the first time I ever veered off of the format of mixing the clean positive songs with the truly explicit songs. Jive came to me and they asked me would I really just do a dirty album, and I kind of resisted it, but then it was so much money on the table, and I was putting out albums really quick and whatever. I was like, you want a dirty album? I'll give you a dirty album. But I really always look back on that album and said I should have put some nice positive songs on there. But You Nasty, I think that was like 1997. Uh, we got a gold plaque on that album. It was one of my not one of my favorite Too Short albums, but I like the song. So that's the Ghetto. That would be the Short Dogs in the House album, 1990. And don't get mad at me if I get some of this stuff wrong, because it's been a lot of songs, a lot of years. But that's definitely the Ghetto, which was a Donny Hathaway remake of a song from the same title, The Ghetto, and it was a big record for me. A lot of radio play, a lot of video spins, and it kind of followed up on what I just got through doing, which was Life Is Too Short, and just kind of put me in the game. Two platinum albums back to back.
I'm too short, baby, hear what I say. I never do work, but I always play, cause the game is life.
Yeah, that song is called Playboy Short, which is it's kind of funny in my career because I I did something that's I don't know, it's kind of strange for a rapper, and this was done in 1985, 86, probably 86, somewhere in there, I don't know. But later on an album I had called Get In Where You Fit In, um, I put I remade the song. Same title, it's called Playboy Short. So a lot of people talk to this song about me, talk about me to the song, and they say Playboy Short, and they're talking about the Get In Where You Fit In version. But this is the original Playboy Short. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a song called "Couldn't Be a Better Player," and that song pretty much uh, was the beginning of my making music uh, partnership I had going with Little John, and it just came about because he had a record out that was it was called "Who You With," and just was it was like a chant record. Nobody really like spitting these 16 bar verses, and it wasn't really like a specific hook or anything. It was just chants, and it was a big record in the club. And I asked him one day, I didn't even really know Lil Jon at the time. I asked him, I said, can I take that record and put some raps on it? And he told me that he was like, man, that record's old. Let's do some new stuff. And then he came by my studio, and this song, Couldn't Be a Better Player, is the first song we did. And we did a lot of songs after that.
1983, Too Short, word for word. Like this, baby. Invasion of the Flat Booty Bitch.
That's funny. That's a song I wrote when I was in high school, when I first started writing dirty rhymes. And somehow, some way, Eric Sermon caught wind of the old version, and he came to me super excited one day. He was like, "You gotta remake that song." So I tend to like I said, I tend to like go in the studio years later and remake songs that I did earlier in my career. And this is another one I did. And Eric Sermon, he was adamant about you have to make this song. So that beat that you just heard is an Eric Sermon beat, which Eric got that funk. And the rhymes are really old rhymes from when I was in high school. So to me, when I listen to it, it's like a little silly little song supposed to make you laugh. But at the same time, that shit is bumping. Yeah, that's the name of the song is "Invasion of the Flat Booty Bitches," and I originally wrote it in 1983. That's why in the intro I say let's flash back to '83. But the remake was probably your guess is as good as mine. It probably was 97, 98. I don't know, somewhere in there.
I remember how it all began.
Yep, I remember that. I remember how it began. That was 1989. Life is Too Short. That was the title track of the album. The album sold 2 million copies. That was the first video I ever shot. That was the first real song I ever had that was really like in rotation on radio stations around the country. That pretty much started the major Too Short. Everything before that was sort of like an independent underground Too Short.
Freaky tales. These are the tales that I tell so well. These are the tales, the freaky tales. These are the tales that I tell so well.
The Freaky Tales. That would have been it was a song that we made in 1987. We released it the summer of '87. I actually wrote the song as one of my earlier high school dirty rhyme rapping days when I had my little book and I would just write these just crazy rhymes. And the concept Freaky Tales was something I had. It started off I was rapping about like these 16 girls. It was always 16 girls. And I told a story about it. And then when I signed to 75 Girls Records, I wanted to do some super mega 30-minute song and it was going to be called Freaky Tales. It was going to be about these 75 girls after the label. But I went to record the song and it was too long. So I looked at it really good and I chopped it down to like the best rhyme. Some of the stuff that was, kind of lame or just some things just didn't make the cut. And I narrowed it down to like 11 minutes. And that's the version everybody knows. It was released in re-released by Jive Records in 1988. And it went on to be like a underground hit record, Freaky Tales.
I go on and on.
The record that won't ever go away. It won't end. It goes on and on. Blow the Whistle is a song that I probably recorded in 2005 with Little John, and it was released in like probably April 2006. And when it came out, it was hot. We shot the video. The record was cool. It jumped off on West Coast radio, but Jive Records really didn't push the record. They really just we did a promo tour from San Diego going up the West Coast, stopped in Seattle, and they called us on the phone like, hey, we're gonna pick up the promo tour in a week or two. That shit just was over. Like they really, I'm calling, I'm like, we got a record, and they're like, nah, it's not in the budget, short. so somehow, I don't, I could tell you a million reasons why, but somehow the record just keeps going. It just breaks itself in the next city. It breaks itself in the next city. I mean, 6, 7 years later, cities like New Orleans was grabbing the record like it was a new record. So, Blow the Whistle is just a song that won't end. And it's been out now for about 9 years. And I think I'm going to throw the record a party next year. 10-year anniversary for Blow the Whistle. That's one of the new songs. It's called Latina Love. It will be on the 30th anniversary album, which will be at you real soon. And it's just, expressing my love for the senoritas. Most guys can share that sentiment. But, me, I love all flavors, so don't put me in a box. Don't put me in a box and try to give me all the Latin girls. I'll take them, but I like it every way it comes sexy.
Too short. And I don't stop rapping.
Well, that record right there kind of symbolizes my entire career. It was recorded in 1985. When I went in the studio, First time I got in the studio, that's the first record we recorded. I really, personally, I tell you, honestly, I liked it back then. But when I look back on my career, I'm like, that session was not really like where Too Short was about to go to. It was they trying to play some little Parliament in there, like a little Parliament remake, kind of spin off of what's it sound like, Aqua Boogie or something? Yeah, it sound a little like Aqua Boogie, but now I kind of after that I got in there and I used to work with a lot of musicians back in the day. They played guitars, keyboards, everything. So you can hear it in some of the songs. You hear the instrumentation, but I would go in there after that and say stop playing so much. Let's strip it down and just give me the funk, just the drums, the bass line, just a little bit. And Don't Stop Rapping was the name of the first album I dropped. It was the name of that song, and it's been the theme of my whole career since the first day I ever said a rhyme. Just don't stop. No shit? Don't worry. Oh, I know.
My nigga Hayes in the motherfucking house.
If she don't call by 12, then she don't get to go. It's my little secret, she don't get to know. Got a bitch on the side, but she won't get the dough. To my right is my wife, to my left is my hoe. I'm a pimp.
Yeah, that's R.I.P. to my man Earl Hayes. That's a song I did with Earl Hayes. We did that song a while ago. That was probably like could have been 5, 6, 7 years ago. But it was always lurking in the cut, waiting to get released. And I'm surprised some people hear it, some people don't. But it's one of those. You put that song in the car, and it knocks hard.
Gotta get a bitch and get my dick sucked. I gotta get a bitch and get my dick sucked. Gotta get a bitch and get my dick sucked. I gotta get a bitch and get my dick sucked. From the weed house straight to the strip club. Gotta get a bitch and get my dick sucked. I pull heat from the hip rub. All I fuck with is gangsters and strippers.
Gangsters and Strippers. I don't know what damn year we dropped that song. That might have been about '08, probably '08. I think I slipped it on that Get Off the Stage album. It gets kind of gray in there somewhere, but I make so many songs. I made so many songs. That song right there, I made that song. I liked it. I put it on the album, but I didn't even know anybody else liked it. I had no clue what the song was doing. They called me one day and asked me to do a party, like a private party, and they specifically requested that song. So I was like, okay, I'll do the song. I had to go actually like listen to it a million times and learn the words. And I went to the party, and I finally got to the part where I sang that song, and the whole crowd went crazy. So I was like, okay, maybe these people like the song. So my next show, I broke the song out, and the whole crowd went crazy. I'm like, when did this happen? Like, I got a record that's moving around I don't even know about. So long story short, never even did a video, never did a radio clean version. It is what it is, Gangsters and Strippers. It's actually kind of a true story, too. Nasty Rhymes. I remember that. That was 1996. That was like one of my favorite Too Short albums, the Getting It album number 10. I had some girls that were signed to the label, About Face. That's them singing on there. My man Big Joe Riz from Detroit was I think Joe Riz might have actually wrote the bulk of that song, because every now and then I would let one of the homies write a song for me, because when it was super platinum after platinum, if I let one homie write one song, his advance might be like 10 grand. So I would be like, working on the album, and I picked the chosen one, whoever it was. I'm like, hey man, write me a song to this beat right here, and just let somebody make some money. That was just part of the way I get down. Even though I didn't need nobody to write nothing for me, but I got a lot of good songs out of letting the homies around me, twist some bars. For real. What's up? It's your boy Too Short. Come celebrate my 30th with me at South by Southwest with the Digital Trap Stars and HotNewHipHop.com. Too Short, baby. 30 years in the game.
So I want to do a game with you real quick.
Okay.
It's called Justine's First.
Okay.
So what's the first time you went to a concert?
The first concert I ever went to was the Scream tour when Chris Brown was on it. Yeah.
Okay. When's the first?
We can't be porch monkeys. If you know what I'm saying, we have to show our intelligence. as artists across the board, and especially as rap artists. I'm all for having a good time, but that was my inner conflict for a long time.